Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney, and in today's video we will be talking about micro goals. Now recently this channel has been goal setting crazy, and we have talked about a lot of different goals in the past few weeks. But one thing that I forget to realize is sometimes it can be very overwhelming to discuss goals, whether that be big or little, and even just really to get started with them. And one thing that we forget is in order to achieve big results, we have to start by taking small steps. So in this video, we will be exploring the concept of micro goals and how they can help you achieve big results. I'll share a small step-by-step guide on setting and tracking your micro goals. So as you guys know, at the beginning of all my goal setting videos, I like to give a little recap of the previous goals we've done. But in this video, I'm going to do a big overview of all the goals we've talked about. So first we started off with SMART goals when it comes to getting my RBT, and we discussed how I'm going to study, all the competencies I need, when I'm going to take the test, and my specific deadlines and all that good stuff that goes within getting the certification. Then we did a vision board goal, and we did two when we talked about ways I'm going to show self-care for the month of July, and also me shopping to find new pieces for my style, well, for my new changing style and for my new wardrobe. So we just printed out some cool inspiration photos. Then, most recently, we talked about backwards goals, and I talked about my main goal of wanting to buy a home, and we started from the type of home I want to buy, pricing, and then we broke it all the way down to the types of loans I can qualify for and what I can do to save for them. Now, while we're talking about micro goals, I'm going to set this page up a bit different. I'm not going to go outright with an example. I'm going to go full on crash course like I'm a teacher, like I'm giving a lecture, however you may see it. I'm just going to break down each part of a micro goal. I'm going to give it a definition. I'm going to give you guys examples a little bit, but I'm just really going to just talk about the whole concept of micro goals and what I get from it and what I know and what I've understood from it. I'm not a professional. I'm just a young girl who focuses on productivity and goal setting, and of course always tries to better herself every day. And if I can just share any information that could help you guys, then I'm gonna do that. But yes, we're going full on crash course style for this video. So, first things first, what actually is a micro goal? So, a micro goal or micro goals are basically small, manageable tasks that break down larger goals into actionable steps. So, by actionable steps, that basically means doable steps. So, something that you can actually physically get up and do. And excuse my handwriting, I am not the best handwriter, or I don't have the best handwriting, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Now, unlike traditional goals, which can be extremely overwhelming, micro goals focus on incremental progress. So if we have a traditional goal such as I want to lose 30 pounds in a month, just saying I want to lose 30 pounds is so broad, and it's so much stuff that goes within that. And if you're a beginner when it comes to setting goals or starting a really big journey, like for example, losing weight, that can be very scary and intimidating. However, a micro goal could be something like, instead of having soda for dinner, I want to change out one sugary drink with water every 2 times I eat a week, or whatever, something simple. It's way more easier to do, and it's less intimidating, and it still works towards your goal of losing weight and becoming healthier. There are many pros to micro goals when it comes to goal setting. The main one being that it reduces the feeling of being overwhelmed because you're breaking down each task into something small and doable. And with that comes an increased motivation, and also with that comes better focus. So it kind of just dominoes off of each other. When you're able to do a bunch of small tasks, it gives you that confidence to tackle on more, and basically makes you want to do more and increases your motivation to complete whatever goal you've set. Now, for me personally, I first learned about micro goals while reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. James Clear emphasizes the power of small actions and micro goals throughout the book. So I thought while talking about micro goals, I thought implementing a small little quote from the book would be perfect. So one thing that really stuck out while reading was this quote that says, "Changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results if you're willing to stick with them for years." Now, this quote highlights the importance of small, consistent actions that lead to significant outcomes over time, because I know it's really, really easy to underestimate starting small, because if you're like me, you can get very impatient and you just really, really want the end result. However, in order to make sure that that end result is done to the best of your ability and to the best that it can be, you have to start small, you have to break it down, and you have to be willing to build it up to get to that end result. And that's one thing that I think Atomic Habits kind of taught me when it came to adulting and setting goals for myself as a young adult out of college. So I recommend you guys read the book. It's really, really great. And yeah, I think it's perfect for this video. Creating a good micro goal for yourself can be done in 5 easy steps. The first one is to identify your big goal, know your end goal, know what you want to do, know where you want to travel, know how much weight you want to lose, whatever the end goal may be. Have the goal in mind because you need to be able to break it down, right? So that's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Identify your big goal. Step number 2 is you break it down into smaller parts. Now, you don't break it down into tasks yet. This isn't the micro goal, so don't be fooled. You're just going to break it down into smaller parts. Building off of step 2 is step 3, which is set your micro goal. Step 4 is to track your progress. And step 5 is to make adjustments as needed. Now that we have listed out our 5 steps, let's create an example to put them to work. So for this example, my goal is I want to write a book. This isn't a personal goal of mine, but let's just pretend it is for the video. So step 1, easy peasy lemon squeezy, I named my big goal. I want to write a book. Step number 2, I'm going to break it down. Now, we all know books have many parts. Some books have chapters, epilogues, prologues, sneak peeks for sequels, whatever that may have you. In my book, I want at least 50 chapters and I want to do an epilogue. And please do not judge me if I spelled epilogue wrong. I probably know it's spelled wrong. Just leave me alone. I'm not a speller. Now, step 3, which is creating the first micro goal. And that is for me to write 500 words a day. That is a doable step. I have to sit down, put pen to paper, or type it out, whatever I need to do. 500 words equals about maybe 2 paragraphs a day. That's something that I can do in the morning or after work. Now, in order to track this progress, I created a small little bar graph. Now, for those who are not new to bullet journaling, this is where we introduce our habit trackers, right? So this is where you cross off how many hours you did this or what days you wrote, whatever you please, whatever pleases you. I decided to do a small little bar graph. I did it for one side, I did the days, and on the bottom, I did how many words I wrote, and I just tracked how many words I actually wrote per day. Now, as you can see, I didn't technically write 500 words every day. I only really did 2 days where I wrote 500 words. Now here comes step number 5. I have to make some adjustments. It seems like that I can't really hit that 500 word mark. So what I'm going to do is lower my words I want to write a day. So my new micro goal is to write 300 words a day. Now, although we did that example really well and it kind of flew by, I want to be honest with you guys that sometimes no matter how small the task may be when it comes to your bigger goal, it might be hard to do. Like some goals are gonna require some blood, sweat, and tears. So here are some tips I want to give to you guys. And the first one is to stay consistent. And 3 things I always keep in mind when I say stay consistent and helps me stay consistent is I make time for my goal, I make my goal available, and I make my goal easy. So by that, I mean I make time, I set aside time to work on my goal, I make it available, so I make sure that I don't have to overwork myself to do it. And then also I make it easy. So I really want to make sure that task that I broke down, my micro goal, is easy for me to do. Next, I say reward yourself. Reward the small things you do. If you write those 500 words, take a walk, get on TikTok, eat a candy bar, whatever you like, like treat yourself for working on your goal. And also stay accountable. And I mean, be honest with yourself. If you need to adjust your goal to something way easier, then do it. It might take you longer, but you're still doing it. You're still making progress. Any forward movement is progress. And don't be afraid to change things up. You have to do what works for you. Don't let anybody else make you feel some type of way for adjusting something to fit your goal. Point blank, period. All right, you guys, we have made it to the end of this crash course style video on micro goals. As you can tell, my voice is slowly giving out. You guys know from my last video that I am slowly deteriorating. I didn't even say that right, deteriorating, and my voice is the first thing to go. So we are on our last legs. I'm gonna try to get this outro out, but thank you guys so much for watching. Don't let anyone tell you that your goals aren't good enough. There's no such thing as a goal too small. Start with the small steps to get to the big ones, and you can achieve anything. I believe in you guys. Y'all are enough. Y'all are good enough. If anyone is telling you otherwise, you comment on this video and I will find them and beat them up for you guys. Point blank, period. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and have a happy July.